This news update is brought to you by...
Say hello to Chelsea. Chelsea is a champion surfer, so she's accustomed to moving super fast, which is why she relies on super fast broadband brought to her through Flow's 100% fiber to the home network. It keeps her family sharing and surfing and saving each month. Combined, she bundles her Flow mobile, home phone, and TV services, so she can enjoy much more for much less, and so can you. Visit any Flow retail outlet, call 1-800-804-2994, or visit discoverflow.co to find out more. One-of-a-kind connection. This is how we flow.
It's Friday, May the 27th, 2016, and this is your Barbados Today morning news update. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. In our top story, the next major action in the standoff between the state-run Town and Country Planning Department and the Mark Maloney-owned Rockhard Cement Company could be made today. The chief town planner, Mark Cummins, had issued an enforcement notice against the company on Friday, ordering it to cease construction on a concrete structure erected at the site near the flour mill on Spring Garden Highway. The company was also ordered to demolish the structure, but a defiant Maloney has decided to stand firm. The matter, which is now before the Director of Public Prosecutions, Charles Leacock, to determine whether a criminal case should be brought against the business, is expected to be referred back to the town planner today for action. The Barbados Port Authority, which is the landlord for the cement company, told Barbados Today it was informed that enforcement and stop notices were being issued on it, but Chief Executive Officer David Jean-Marie says the authority had not been officially served up to yesterday afternoon. First, it was Lady Stella St. John. Now, a second former First Lady is taking the government to task for its handling of the island's 50th independence celebrations, responding to a recent criticism leveled by the Member of Parliament for St. Lucie, Dennis Kelman, that the opposition Barbados Liberal Party, BLP, was not taking an interest in Golden Jubilee celebrations. Genevieve Adams said as far as she was aware, little discussion had been held between the government and the opposition, so it was hard to take part in plans that one had not been a party to. The widow of the late Prime Minister Tom Adams, who recently attended a tribute event held in Hero Square in honor of her late husband and the other 6 heads of government, complained that the event was what she called pretty biased politically. She explained that the videos shown of the prime ministers were very sketchy and left out really vital pieces of information, adding that all the ruling Democratic Labour Party prime ministers were shown speaking, while none of the BLP prime ministers were shown speaking at all. In sports now, the ugly impasse that has dogged West Indies cricket over the past several months could sooner claim a very prized and passionate scalp. Chairman of the Caribbean Community Cricket Governance Subcommittee, Grenada's Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell, is threatening to hang up his boots as a protracted dispute with the Windies Cricket Board that spilled over into the recent 2020 championships in Kolkata, India, shows no signs of abating. Delivering the 18th Sir Frank Worrell Memorial Lecture at the University of the West Indies Cayfield campus Wednesday night, Mitchell declared that it may be time for him to move on. A panel of academics and leading Caribbean personalities, led by UWI Principal Dr. Eugene Barito, set up by the regional prime ministers, had recommended dissolution of the governing body for West Indies cricket and the setting up of an interim management group while the organization was restructured.
This new leadership requires more than technical expertise, administrative ability, and traditional management style. It calls for better self-leadership, better motivational skills, better handling of key relationships inside and outside the organization, and better management of the organization diversity and independence. In other words, don't expect what Sir Gary and the others of the past accepted 40 years ago and 30 years ago. Think they're going to try that today with the young people of our time.
West Indies star cricketer Carlos Brathwaite is now back home and has been recalling his sensational batting feat, which allowed the regional team to win the recent ICC World T20 Championship. Brathwaite relived how that final over played out with batting partner Marlon Samuels at the crease.
Marlon in the pitch and just decided, take myself out of the moment, out of the scenario, forget the equation, just focus on ball, maximize the scenario delivery, get back on ball, and it was about the boundary running. First one was down the left side, got the way for 6, and Marlon was tight for level. I was just trying to stay calm. Second and third ball was the same thing. Once they got away the third 6-1 lead, it was virtually impossible for us to lose from that. And so just at that time, it was going to go. And my girlfriend, you left me with me, and Marlon, and then after the 4-6, I just sort of stand up to myself, screaming not always there. But I was just happy to enjoy that one moment for myself before the team came on. And it was kind of expected.
In other sporting news, a deal has been agreed for Jose Mourinho to become Manchester United's new manager after 3 days of talks. Negotiations between Mourinho's agent Jorge Mendes and senior United officials have concluded, although no contract has been signed. An official announcement from the club is expected today. The Portuguese will replace Dutchman Louis van Gaal, who was sacked on Monday, 2 days after United won the FA Cup.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter. That's the move for me. Stability, prosperity. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
We're back with news from the region now. 28 illegal immigrants are expected to appear before a magistrate in Trinidad and Tobago today after they were held during a police exercise early Thursday morning. The immigrants, all Spanish-speaking women, were held after officers of the Northeastern Division Task Force swooped down on the Spanish Harlem nightclub in San Juan. It is said that the women were found scantily dressed inside the nightclub. They were taken into custody and immigration officials were contacted. 2 other persons were also taken into custody for possession of marijuana. One of the judges of the Caribbean Court of Justice, CCJ, Justice David Hayton, fielded questions from the rank-and-file members of the Royal Police Force of Antigua and Barbuda this week. It was yet another session organized by the National Coordinating Committee to bring awareness to an important target group in its sensitization efforts.
The room was packed with an attentive group of officers from all ranks and various departments within the police force. The discussion was honest and open as visiting CCJ Judge Justice David Hayton acknowledged the challenges in reaching a majority vote on the matter.
This issue that should be a very pure issue gets clogged up with politics and becomes a bit of a political football. Well, okay, we agree it's a good thing, but we're not going to agree to it unless you agree to all these other things and so on. And so it has become very difficult, I think, to get the requisite majority together.
But Justice Hayton believes prevailing conditions as it relates to the development of Caribbean society are working in Antigua and Barbuda's favor.
Albeit, as I'll mention later, I think there is a certain historic inevitability as nations become mature nations. Obviously, they want to cut their ties with the mother country and need really to stand together in the Caribbean community with a final chord of people who come basically from the CARICOM community or have had strong links beforehand, as I had.
And finally, airport screening delays have caused more than 70,000 American Airlines customers and 40,000 checked bags to miss their flights this year. That was revealed before a U.S. congressional subcommittee by an executive for the airline yesterday. A shortage of staff and a surge in air travel have created a nightmare scenario for the U.S. Transportation Security Administration, with airport wait times in places like Chicago stretching beyond 2 hours. More in this Reuters report.
Growing outrage over long security lines at the nation's airports, prompting lawmakers to call TSA head Peter Neffinger up to Capitol Hill Wednesday. Neffinger warned there isn't a quick fix and delays getting through security will continue to be a problem.
This year, we project our checkpoints nationwide will screen some 740 million people. By comparison, in 2013, TSA screened 643 million people. That's an increase of 100 million people in just 4 years, while our full-time workforce has reduced by more than 12%.
His testimony comes 2 days after he fired his head of security. Without long grandstanding speeches by lawmakers looking for on-screen time, the head of the TSA actually had time to lay out how he intends to get passengers through security checkpoints quicker. In the short term, he's going to use increased congressional funding to hire more workers and switch part-timers to full-time.
That's news and sports, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. Also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you, as well as channel 99 on Flow TV and Mix 96.9 FM. Have a fantastic day.